And
welcome to Plopcast number 24. Today on the show we have me, Comic Book Girl 19, Captain Kirk, and we have T-Bone moderating today. He'll be telling us what we're going to be talking about. So T-Bone.
So here are the topics for today. We're going to talk about trailers. There's a lot of trailers coming out, a lot of hot trailers. People have been asking you to talk about it a lot, so we're going to talk about the Jurassic Park trailer, the Star Wars trailer, the Terminator trailer. Yeah. Are there any other trailers? We might talk about those too.
Yeah.
Then we're going to move into like the hot news of the week, which is the Sony Spider-Man leaks.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss how Spider-Man is going to get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe like we all want to happen. It's going to happen.
One way or the other.
We're going to make it happen on this podcast. All you got to do is listen to it, and it will happen. So then we're going to move into calendar updates and general news. Projects have been going on, and finally we have an Exodus review. The movie sucked, but we're going to explain why. Then we're going to talk about
review.
You guys are going to talk about all the comics you've been reading, including CBG19 is back in the mix with DC Comics.
Yeah.
She's got some DC titles she really likes. She wants to tell you about. Then we're going to talk about what's been going on in the Spider Universe. I'm confused. I read Spider-Woman. I didn't know what was going on. He's going to tell me about it. Then whatever other comics are hot right now, we're going to talk about if there's time.
Yeah.
So join us for the next hour and a half. So let's get into it.
All right.
What do you guys want to talk about first in this list of topics?
Let's talk about the trailers. Let's do trailers.
Trailers.
All right.
Now, before we get into this, I know that I have said that you shouldn't watch trailers because it colors your expectations, and then when you go into a movie, you're like, you already have these expectations, and then it usually doesn't live up to that because
trailers
marketing.
Are basically spoilers. I mean, they're just spoilers, really.
It's just marketing. It's just to get you in there, and so they will market a movie any way they think will get you in the seat, even if that's not what the movie's about. So I still stand by that. Don't watch trailers. You should all try not to. But we're
breaking all the rules today.
I did.
But Star Wars, say it.
I am not saying that. I will say
this is not an exception to the rule. This is just that none of these movies really matter to you, do they? If they suck. So
I'm not like. I watch all these trailers because I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. Like, I don't expect.
So literally, this entire next segment is just for T-Bone and I.
Yeah. Well.
No. They're fun.
I'm excited about.
All she's saying is that this is not going to spoil a movie for her upcoming in the future because she doesn't have expectations like it'll crush her.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like it's going to crush her childhood the way The Lost World crushed my childhood when I got excited about it.
See, with both Star Wars and Jurassic Park, they've already put out shitty movies afterwards, so I'm already in that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't have expectations that are high.
There's only 3 Star Wars films.
Yeah, there should be.
There's only 3.
All right, we're past that, so I guess we'll watch it and then we'll comment on it.
Okay, so here we go. If you're the one person who has not watched the...
There is that one person.
Well, we can talk about what's going.
We open up with...
What is this got? 48 million views already?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So everyone's watched it twice by now.
Black guy!
Is everyone,
who cares?
I know. Is like people are upset about that?
They are. I don't know.
Are
why.
they?
Yeah.
Or are there people just making...
Practical effect!
A little soccer ball droid.
I heard that was a real practical effect, right?
Yeah. Which is adorbs.
Sexy stormtroopers. Sexy Skywalker.
Is that Mara Jade?
We wish. Sexy X-Wings.
Do you think that's Mark Hamill?
No, I think that's a sexy broadsword. Oh, it's so sexy.
Don't get all bonered up, Kirk.
Too late. Too late. The Star Wars theme song is pretty much my Pavlov's dog, trigger.
I feel the same way, but the opposite. It's it is a Pavlovian trigger for me as well. Where I'm just like,
So Kirk, you're the one most excited about this movie. So why don't you start with how do you feel? And I'm pretty sure the answer is you're excited. So
very excited. Pretty sure this is going to be amazing. Anybody who's not George Lucas directing the films is a smart choice. Obviously, we see that J.J. Abrams is really good with other people's franchises and material.
as well as his own.
Yeah.
But I think he is really
So-
true to
Except for
form.
Super 8.
Will you be crushed?
Yeah.
If it sucks, will you be crushed? Will you be super disappointed?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
But here's
Yeah.
because you're so sure it's already gonna
Well,
suck.
it's like, I just feel like
No.
everybody has such like, everyone's just so bonered up over this movie, and it's just like, man, like,
Nobody knows for sure is a thing. Nobody
Yeah,
knows.
I think after Jar Jar, there's no going or falling lower. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
Like, I don't
No,
know.
I agree.
No,
Yeah.
no, you can go lower.
I think after episode 1, 2, and 3, like there is no. How do you suck worse than that?
Yeah, the only like one of the main issues that I have with this movie is, we've already seen old Indiana Jones and how well that worked out. So why are people excited to see old Han Solo? Because
he's going to be even more crotchety.
like I don't.
So you're skeptical.
I'm very skeptical. I mean, if it's
But-
great, I'll admit it. If it's great, I'll be the first one to fucking put my hand up and go, "Yay,
You'll be
Star
excited
Wars."
if it's great, right?
No, I would be excited if it was great. But I feel like too though, like a lot of people, even if it isn't great, people aren't gonna. I don't think that people will admit it, and they'll just like say that it's great, like they did with the first or the prequels, or the.
I'm an idiot who did go see episode 1 twice. Like,
But the thing was, it's like people were so high,
and
yeah.
walking out of the theater the second time, like, I don't think that was good.
Yeah, because you want it to be so good, so people didn't want to say that it was terrible.
Oh yeah, man, I was the same way with The Lost World. That was the movie that destroyed my childhood because I was looking forward to that all year long, knowing it was coming out. And then after I saw it, for like the first, I came home and I remember I was a teenager and my mom was like, "So how was it? Was it good?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was good."
that was my reaction.
And I had to see it again to realize that it wasn't good.
I had that same thing with X-Men 3. I had the same thing where I was like,
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, yay! I just really want.
Oh,
And then I was like, I ended
We've
up
already been
renting
burned
it,
in the
even
past
though my
by
mom
our-
was like, please don't rent that piece of garbage. But it's like I just wanted to see the characters, like I just like seeing them on screen. But that movie sucks balls.
Yeah. So we've all
We've all been there.
Right after X3, I raced out of the theater looking for the first table I could flip over.
Wait, what was your most disappointing movie experience? What movie burned you the most?
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. For you, it was
And
X-Men 3.
episode 2.
For me, it was The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. So that's why I'm apprehensive to get caught up in the hype game for any movie.
Well, yeah, and that's a whole other thing. It's like, this movie isn't coming out until in a year. It's taking a whole year. It's like, what? I don't want to talk about this movie for a whole year before it's even out, and then
The thing
That's
is, why I'm already, the fan theories like between myself and my friends are going crazy. Like, I don't think this is going to be an entire trilogy with the whole old cast. I think this movie will be halfway through realizing that it's the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Like, I think this will be the swan song for a lot of people.
Okay, fine. All right, since you're the local Star Wars expert here,
Right.
because you love it, tell us, for everyone that wants to know, about what you think, what people think. What's the most relevant thing
Like
that
I said,
people
I
think is going to happen in this
redemption. I think the word is redemption. I think we'll finally be redeemed and have like new Star Wars movies.
movie? Yeah, but
They're
I mean,
going to be great.
Have people figured out the entire plot from like the 2-minute trailer?
Oh God,
Like,
yes. Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's that like the plot synopsis stuff has definitely hit the internet.
Yeah.
And I don't care how faithful.
Is
or
it
true-
official? Is it?
No one's saying official.
Yeah.
No
But
one's
it
saying
could be.
official.
It could be the word-for-word script.
Yeah.
Okay.
The script hasn't hit. But
See, do you like knowing it all? Do you like?
No, but you see the problem.
But you can't
is that
resist.
Yeah.
You can't resist, and also you can't get away from it because, like you said,
I know,
this thing was
right?
56 million has already been watched.
Yeah, it's like you're
You
forced.
can't get away with it.
You're forced to watch this because it's like
Especially
everywhere
in our
you
line of work.
turn. I know.
It's like I know the Kardashians exist. Have I ever watched that show? No.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
I
right. Good
purposely
point.
go out of my way to make sure that I stay away from that
Good
part
point.
of society?
Yeah.
But it's so permeated everything
Yeah.
that I know that the Kardashians exist, and I hate it.
But you know what? It's a paradox. We're talking about why it's bad and why it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's wrong, but I can't help but get excited
Can't
about
help.
the Jurassic
Can't help
World
it.
trailer. I can't help it.
Yeah, Jurassic World trailer
very
really got
skeptical.
me excited.
All right, let's watch it and let's talk about our reactions to this one.
Yes.
Man, but I think that they've recaptured the energy of the original Jurassic Park in this.
So what is the worst thing that could go wrong? Sending your kids away by themselves
Yeah.
to Dinosaur Island.
Yeah.
Exactly what they were afraid was going to
Yeah,
happen.
like, oh, the parents are going to stay behind. Perfect.
But I just love the idea that the park has been open for like a year.
Yeah.
And it's functioning, and people are like, oh, it's normal. It's like going to Disneyland.
I also
Second.
really like that every shot you're going to see in this thing has like this really cool, like futuristic utopian like feel to it.
Yeah.
Like, what could possibly
yeah.
go wrong? We live in the future now.
Dude, I would totally go there. I'd be there tomorrow if this was open.
Yeah. I like that gyrosphere.
And the
that's
gyrosphere is
great.
awesome.
Get right up close to the dinosaurs. It's fine.
Look at that future, pretty.
And this idea is so great.
Jaws, fuck Jaws.
I believe
Well,
that
how big
is.
is the lagoon for that fucking guy?
Right?
They must have like blocked off some of the ocean. It looked pretty big.
Yeah.
More in the past decade.
Hopefully they didn't let it out.
Than a century
Okay.
of digging up bones. A whole new frontier has opened up. We have our first genetically modified hybrid.
I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
Made a new dinosaur? Probably not a good idea.
Chris Pratt being serious.
Weird. 40 feet
And
high.
hot.
Really, we should find out. Depends on
I like his little vest.
what kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab.
He's like the Han Solo of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Evacuate the island.
Well, I'm glad they're not trying to bring
Oh,
back
see, but there's the
assholes from
Pavlov
the old
effect
movies.
again. Just that little piano intro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Should kill anything that moves.
Da, da, da. So you do know there's like little tiny homages
Yeah.
to the original film in this thing.
Yeah,
I hope he eats that fucking Iron Man kid.
That'd be awesome.
that was a great trailer.
Hold on.
That was a great
Wait
trailer.
for it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the best part.
Raptor pack!
Yeah. That shit got me right there.
Okay,
So,
first things you
seriously.
need to know. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's wearing a pantsuit the entire time. So obviously she's just like, what's his name from the first movie?
What, Hammond?
Hammond.
Yeah.
Because Hammond was Mr. Pantsuit Dude.
Yeah.
Now I got to show you this trailer reaction. We for some reason watched this and it was really hilarious.
Yeah, this guy cracked me up.
Oh yeah! With the pack, was he running with the pack? Was he running with the raptors?
Yeah.
That shit is hot.
That shit is hot.
I totally agree with that guy.
That was
is a
awesome.
Great idea.
Yeah.
And obviously, okay, it took me a while to figure this one out. But remember they talked about the first movie? Mm-hmm. That raptors imprint on the first thing they see? Mm-hmm. So please tell me Chris Pratt
Please tell me he's Raptor Papa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You're right.
Yeah.
They are
Is
going
he,
with that.
is he Raptor Papa?
I really
That line.
hope that he's Raptor Papa, and I hope that him and his girls are gonna go take down this fucked up genetic monster.
I want that to be the last
Like-
scene. Like, no, guys, I have a plan, and that's the
Yeah,
that's the
it's
next
like,
scene.
let me get my bitches here, and we're gonna go take care of this problem.
Yeah,
okay?
that was totally
Like,
because you remember the end of Jurassic Park. You know, the raptors attacked the T-Rex, and that was a great scene.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was an idea they only had in the movie, they didn't have in the book, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this one. I think.
So just
that
imagine this genetically engineered dinosaur, whatever it is. It could be good, it
Now-
could be bad.
now that I've seen
but like
this-
covered in like 50 raptors, fighting them all.
Yes.
That would be such an awesome
Well,
scene.
now that I've seen the trailer,
If
though,
that happens.
I do have really high expectations. Though now, I
Oh yeah, it's too late. I'm
It's-
setting myself to be majorly disappointed.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So Tyson, what was it about the Lost World that upset you the most? What?
okay, well, like I said, I looked forward to it for so long. You
Tell us
know,
your feelings.
I love Jurassic Park, and then one day I found out what Michael Crichton wrote The Lost World. So excited, read the book, love the book. You know, expecting them to do the book. So then you see the movie, and then half of the movie is pretty close to the book, and then the second half. They totally went into a completely new direction. Suddenly, there's this little girl, an 8-year-old girl, doing gymnastics, killing velociraptors. What?
With
no,
gymnastics.
that can't happen.
Yeah.
That was nonsense.
Yeah.
It was probably in that single scene of a child killing the most vicious predator the Earth has ever known.
You took offense to this.
I took terrible offense to this.
Yeah.
Just what a
Yeah.
terrible idea. What was Spielberg thinking?
Yeah.
Was he awake that day? Was he even there?
Yeah.
Was everyone drunk?
I don't know.
Like, who thought that was a good idea? How did he get into this movie?
When was
Yeah.
the last time gymnastics
expecting it to
ever
be a-
saved the day?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
Gymnastics can kill dinosaurs, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they're...
Yeah, that movie, and it's like, I love Jeff Goldblum. And that movie, no, it was bad. And then it's just in his daughter. You bring up the daughter, it's like that chick is not half Goldblum in any way, shape, or form. I was so confused, and they never even brought it up. Like you have to like make a joke. Well,
she was obviously adopted,
and
but
Spielberg directed part 2. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
He did, but you know what? Okay, I have a theory of why it went bad. In the behind the scenes of The Lost World, there's a lot of Spielberg interviews, and I think he's having a midlife crisis during this movie because he's turning 50 for the first time, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm 50." He says this, "I'm 50, and I'm directing a dinosaur movie." As if I should be doing something else, but then he's like,
wow.
"Oh, but I'm 50 and I'm directing a dinosaur movie." You know, he says it as a joke, but a part of him actually does believe that. A part of him thinks I should be doing something more significant since this is towards the later part of my life. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. So I think he shouldn't have come back.
I think he should be fucking stoked that he was directing.
And he said that he stuck in the the T-Rex comes to San Diego because he just wanted to see that happen, and that's not what happened in the book. And he should have just stuck to the book, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But no,
that's a bummer.
Well, then there's Jurassic Park 3.
There was 3. Samuel came back for that one.
Yeah, because I know there's Lost World, and then there's.
I set my expectations really low for Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
And I wasn't disappointed because the movie wasn't very good, and it was.
Okay.
It was okay.
Even with Sam Neill, it's like you just.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the problem with the storyline. That's why I'm excited about the Jurassic World because they have a storyline that makes sense. They should have made this as Jurassic Park 2 instead because it's like opening the park. We've never seen the park open. Instead, all the other movies were setups to just get old characters for
like,
some reason to come back.
Yeah. But no, I think the whole purpose, I could be wrong on this one, that part of it is that B.D. Wong, his first character from the first movie, he's the reason why this place is open.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense because he's just a fucking shitty scientist who doesn't care and just wants to make monsters.
Because that was the whole morality tale of the first movie. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Science.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that idea. I think that's a really hot idea. Although we didn't see him in the trailer, so.
But
I guess that's confirmed.
So hot.
She's a good actor for this. Chris Pratt is a good actor for this.
Well, the Terminator one. Let's watch the Terminator one. I don't know if I think I've seen. I can't remember if I've seen the Terminator one or not. I think I. I saw someone talking about it. That's what I.
Let's just talk about.
It's called Genesis.
But be sure to spell it wrong. Because that's what they do.
Genesis with a Y.
All right, this has got to be it.
That's it. 16 mil. There we go.
And this just came out like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know how I feel about this thing. I mean, I love the blue hues. Takes it back to T2 and those futuristic shots.
Of this long and terrible war.
I like the hunter killers are in it.
We died tonight.
That looked good.
Nukes going off. That's cool.
Mankind dies with us. The machine sent the Terminator back to the time before the war.
I like that we actually get to see the time machine.
Sir, let me say that. What you're doing right now, this is the end of the war.
Like, we know all this already.
Yeah.
But we get to see it for the first time.
Stop waving your hands, guys.
Oh, sorry.
The TV's got motion control.
Oh, wow, that's weird. I had no idea.
You should be scared and weak. Take care of it for me, Kyle.
Come with me if you want to live. Now, soldier!
Oh, I love you. That's the Khaleesi, guys.
Oh, is it?
That's the Khaleesi.
Terminator was sent back to kill me, I know, but...
Oh, it is.
So this is why it's going to get all my money right away.
Schwarzenegger's in it too.
Yeah, wait, what?
Schwarzenegger is young.
Yeah. Which I don't know about that.
But it's cool to see the T-1000 again.
Yeah. In the cop suit.
We can stop Judgment Day from happening.
Whatever you say, Khaleesi.
Run! Where is he?
Dang.
Right?
Okay.
gray-haired T800. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I don't understand how you have an old T anything, but okay.
So, one, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize it was
how did you feel about the trailer since you haven't seen it before? 19. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll see it. I hadn't seen it before. I'll see it.
Yeah, I'll probably go see it.
I'll see it. I have no idea if it's going to be good. The trailer's a trailer. All trailers are good. So it's a good trailer. I mean, I don't know much about the Terminator franchise, so I mean,
the newer ones.
I don't know much about the news of what people think it's going to be about. I don't know the plot.
Yeah.
Of course, we've all seen the Terminator movies, but yeah.
Well, it's a reboot, but they're using the original storylines from the first 2 films as the point of the reboot.
Yeah.
Like at some point, I don't know. Like it seems so convoluted that it's not going to work, so they're just going to try to razzle dazzle you with action scenes.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like they just don't want to pay attention to the plot on this one, just so that they can make more of these films. But it's got the Khaleesi.
Yeah.
So they've already got my money. The Khaleesi.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested.
We'll see.
I feel like there's probably
and Matt Smith, a Doctor Who's in this.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
who's directing it? Do we know who's directing it?
Yeah, who's directing
I
it?
don't remember.
Is it anyone with experience?
That's kind of
That's how I judge movies, and I'm usually pretty accurate when you look at someone's previous work. That's the one thing that I'm mostly nervous about with Jurassic World is the director is Colin Trevorrow. I believe that's how you say his name, and he does not have any experience with feature films. That's the number one thing I'm worried about. Mm-hmm. He's done an indie film called what was it?
Alan Taylor.
Alan Taylor's
is doing
Terminator?
yeah. Well, that makes sense because he did. He was directing episodes of Game of Thrones, and then he directed. Isn't he the one who directed Thor 2? I think he also did that.
I think he also did Thor 2. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So it's Alan Taylor.
We'll see.
Oh, he's done Sex and the City, guys.
We'll see.
This is perfect.
Sex and the City, the movie, or episodes?
Episodes.
Okay.
Sopranos.
Yeah,
Man, you can put Sopranos on your resume too. I'm right on board.
Yeah, he did Safety Not Guaranteed, which is like a kind of a low budget indie.
I loved that film.
Indie movie. It was good. It was good.
It's good for a really cheap movie, and you can tell it's really cheap.
Yeah.
So, there's a potential that he could be good, but still there's definitely going to be some inexperience with someone jumping from a movie that costs less than $1 million to suddenly a movie that costs $150 million.
Yeah.
That's a huge jump from a tadpole to a tentpole.
Yeah, and I feel like I see this happening a lot. Like, I feel like I see these indie directors who all of a sudden are just, like, getting jumped up to do these reboots and these things like that.
Mark Webb with the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah, and I think that they're doing that because it's like,
Oh, really? And Mark Webb not done a feature film?
Mark Webb did 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he's got the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah, because you know why they hired him? Because they just wanted someone they could push around.
They knew that exact. Thank you.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
And that's why the movies weren't good,
because
it was made by producers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like this...
Studio execs, I should say. Producers, not producers. That's a misleading term. But studio execs who are all about
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Well, it's also like it's such a big gamble to do, say, like to reboot like the Jurassic Park thing because it's such a beloved movie and all this stuff. And so it's just like, they pick these guys who don't already have a reputation. It's like if they fuck this up, I mean, their career is kind of could be over. They could just bury these guys and just be like, we'll give you a shot, and then if it sucks, then fuck you, and your career's over, and you'll never get to do another one.
A well-known director might not want to touch a giant franchise like this because they'll become way famous for it, and then everyone will know, if it sucks, everyone will know. You've
that's
got
a good
big
point.
Besmirch.
Because here's the thing, like
besmirched.
A besmirched resume. Kind of like Brett Ratner with X-Men 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brett Ratner with every damn film he's ever done.
I think the Rush Hour movies are good.
Rush Hour.
They go, you did Rush Hour, that's great. But everyone's like, but don't forget every other dud he's had.
Yeah.
Well,
Ratner
had he not
sucks.
done X-Men 3, I don't think he would get as much hate as he does now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked at his resume that closely.
Good. You don't want to. It's like watching a really horrible porn that you shouldn't be watching.
Anyway,
that's Ratner's resume.
Is there anything else we want to say about trailer fever that's going on right now? I guess it's the time of year.
Well, I'm really glad that these guys are using original ideas again. That's me being facetious.
Well, I don't want us to sound too cynical on this. Like, I'm excited about all these trailers we just watched, and I think this is a big summer coming up.
No, it's huge.
Oh, we still haven't seen the Avengers trailer. Have you seen it?
No, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either. See,
that's something I actually care about, so
right,
I don't want to see the trailer.
I'm definitely
for
going to
it.
see Avengers 2. I hope that it's good, and that's why I'm not watching
Believe
the
it or
trailer.
not, I have not watched it either.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's one that I'm like, oof.
I'm proud of all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is something that I don't want to spoil anything for myself.
Yeah, for the kids out there, if you really are excited about a movie, try to avoid all the marketing stuff because it's just spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, and you're gonna see a different movie in the trailer than what you finally get.
In our culture,
and then people complain about it, like they weren't expecting that. Like, how do you not know that by now? It's 2015. Come on.
I know.
And especially in the fact that, like, now that we are living in this mega franchise film, environment,
the age of
the movie's coming out, so maybe you're right. Maybe you don't need to immediately rush out and get hyped up.
For Birdman, I mean, I didn't know anything about it going in. I literally went in completely cold. Like, I had no idea what to expect. And I had the best experience ever because I didn't know what was going to happen, and I had no idea about what anything was about. And it just had a really great experience. Like, going into a movie completely cold is a lot of fun, and a lot of people don't ever do that, so they don't realize, like, what a great thing it is to go into a movie cold.
Birdman is still my top choice for movie of the year.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's where
I need to go
I'm
see it again. I need to see that again, and I want to see Interstellar again. So what's up next?
Well, that was a good transition that we need to move into talking about the movies that we've seen lately that we haven't gotten a chance to review, like Exodus mostly.
Exodus.
Let's talk about Exodus.
More like Mexodus.
Okay.
God, this movie sucked. But but it's fascinating in the fact that I need to know why Ridley Scott decided to make this movie. I want to know why.
Well, why was it bad? Tell people why it was bad.
Gosh, there's so many reasons. I don't know. You tell him.
Okay.
What's?
Jeez. Man, what a weird.
I mean, the thing is, like, technically, the movie is technically made well.
I've never seen a movie like this to where it's technically amazing. Like, I can't believe they spent this much money on this movie. I mean, the movie is epic. There's these huge wide shots with there's thousands of people in them, although I'm sure most of them are CGI.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And there's all these sets, amazing backgrounds, costumes.
Yeah.
Like, it's all top notch.
Yeah. Really
I'm sure
high quality
if you watched
stuff.
any scene or any frame, you'd think, wow, this is going to be one of the best movies ever. But then it's just vapid. It's just like you can't connect with any characters.
Like you said it was like a montage. The whole movie is like a giant montage. There's no character development.
Yeah, because it takes place during the entire life of Moses.
Yeah.
This is who directed it? Really
except for the beginning, they avoid his showing that.
But yeah, I just
it's just there's so many things that don't make sense.
Well, it's like the movie. Okay, when I was watching the movie, I got the distinct impression that Ridley Scott is saying "fuck you" to somebody with this movie. I don't know who he's saying fuck you to, and I don't know why he's saying fuck you, but it feels like a spiteful fuck you.
I think you're a couple steps ahead of the people that haven't seen it. Why do you think that?
Well, of course I am. I've seen the movie, so
yeah. You're saying that because in the movie it's just really puzzling how Ridley Scott, who's a really good director, obviously made this movie, which seems like no one was really aware of what's happening.
Well, for example. Like when you see God, when Moses is talking to God, God is played by, a boy. It's a child, a little bald child. And, artistically, like if you're thinking about the idea of like, how do I portray God on screen? You don't want to do the big guy with a beard up in the clouds because it's been done before. And that's just, it doesn't, I don't know, it's just too much. So, I mean, artistically speaking, like having a child represent God is really interesting, and I think artistically that's the right choice. But it's also, you can look at it from the perspective of it's a slight, where like God is this demanding little shithead kid, and like, and the thing about Exodus, it really shows how stupid this story is. Like, it just made me realize how stupid. Because it's just like you have like God and he's
careful,
like,
there's some people you might offend by saying something like that.
Well, I'm just saying when you see it as a movie, the story does not fucking make sense. Because you have God who's like, all right, Moses, I need you to get my people out of slavery and do all this stuff. But then it's like, then he's like, oh, Moses, you're not doing a good job, so I guess I'll come in and fucking do the plagues. and have all the plague
right.
stuff. And it's
God-
like, well, why didn't you just do that to begin with?
You're saying God did all the work and Moses really did nothing, as portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, there's that, but then it just doesn't make any sense.
For someone who hasn't seen it, I'm kind of laughing my ass off at that.
Christian
It just portrays
Bale
God
Moses
as being the
is
most
weird,
petty
and
entity.
like a petty.
He's a child. He's literally a child. In the movie, they portray him as a child, and then he acts like a child.
Yeah. Well, then that's how.
It's like, these people have been enslaved for 400 years. Oh, well, you know what? I feel like I need to do this next week, and I'm going to make all these plagues happen. You know, because Moses, you're not doing your work fast enough.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why didn't you just instead you didn't
Why did you
need
let
me
him?
then?
Well,
You could have done this 400 years ago.
If you could fucking plague people and kill all their babies and stuff like that, it's like, why didn't you do that to begin with? Why did you even let them get enslaved in the first place?
The plagues
they're
are
so
beautiful,
important
though, by
to
the
you.
way. They look really
No,
good.
the plagues are really gorgeous. I mean, the way he did all that stuff was really great. But I mean, it just really is like. And then it shows God killing babies, which was interesting, because the Passover, the spirit of death goes through and kills all the firstborn children.
Of every
so you
family,
get to see God murdering children in this, which is interesting.
It's probably hard to review this movie without really offending people.
No,
I have no idea what percentage of our audience is going to, be sticklers.
I mean, it's really hard because we are living in more enlightened time, thank God. But
are we?
Well, you hope so. You hope so.
But I mean,
it's like these old Bible stories, which I now firmly believe, like if you. Or parables, and I'm also really, and I don't care, I probably am going to insult somebody, and I don't give a shit, is that if you believe these stories word for word, I'm kind of afraid of you. Like, you're someone I don't necessarily...
That's the point.
That's what this movie shows you, is like, it does show from that angle of like, if you took this story completely seriously and made it into the best film you could possibly make it,
it still looks silly.
It still looks silly, you know? And I just feel like and he also dedicated this movie to his brother. So I don't know if this is a whole maybe his brother, I don't know what his religious views were, but maybe he's like angry at God for some reason, so he wanted to make this movie to just show how stupid whole thing is. I don't know. I just feel like there's a slight in this movie, and it's like really it's like a really frustrating movie. And I don't know, maybe it's even a fuck you to fans, Ridley Scott's fans, because everyone gave him so much shit for Prometheus. And he's like, oh, well then I'll just fucking do a fucking Bible story. Is that what you want?
I think you're still a step ahead. You're saying this because Ridley Scott is known to be an atheist?
Yeah,
apparently?
he's an atheist, yeah.
Well, so they say. That could be not true. Maybe it's true.
It's on his wiki.
Okay, well, he didn't write
That's
it.
It's official.
All right, well, we'll assume he's an atheist for sake of conversation.
Okay.
And an atheist made a movie about Old Testament God. Mm-hmm. So what was his motivation as a director to want to tell this story? Why did he want to tell this story?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just feels like he's frustrated at either the fans or at religion or at the death of his brother, or his brother's suicide. I mean, I don't know. I've been trying to come up with reasons.
So your conspiracy theory is that Ridley Scott wanted to make this look stupid. He was angry.
Yeah. There's just this movie just feels like it's dripping with spite. It's just like
because you can't imagine him trying.
Is there any contractual obligation behind this thing?
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I want to know.
Because it was so funny. Like we keep hearing these like I'm gonna do the next Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. Oh no. I might do another Prometheus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I literally out of nowhere had no idea this movie was being made.
Yeah.
Like this thing.
It doesn't make sense because he went from making a movie about what if an alien race created mankind,
theory,
right, to suddenly
Space Jesus theory,
a movie about God.
Yeah.
And traditional beliefs. And
so I want to know where the hell this movie came from, and then suddenly also is this because there was a contractual obligation, and
I know that's what I thought too. Yeah,
is there this weird trend in remaking Bible stories again?
Yeah, Aronofsky was Noah.
Did you see Noah? Anybody see Noah here?
No,
I did. I liked it.
Yeah,
but
I heard that Christians were still upset because
but who cares?
Because they didn't stick to the actual story. They altered it a lot.
Yeah,
like this movie altered it.
Yeah, they actually made it a really good story. Is what they did. And God forgive them. I'm sorry that storyteller decided to make a better story. But
in Noah, maybe they did something that they also did in this movie was that they kind of made it not clear whether it was God really doing it or it was just happening because of some science reason.
Yeah, Noah, he gets hit. His head gets hit on a rock, and that's how he sees God after he's hit in the head. So is he really seeing God, or is he just talking?
And you also see a third person watching him talking to nobody.
Yeah, where it's like he's talking to God, but then from another person's perspective, just talking to himself.
Right. So you start watching the movie and you think, okay, clearly that's showing that this could have just been something that just happened.
And then he tried to do like the parting of the Red Sea. He did a thing where instead of Moses parting the sea, like you normally see. He did a thing where it was a tsunami, and the tsunami was taking all the water back, and then they crossed while the water was, being sucked back for the giant wave. But then again, even though it is trying to be somewhat ambiguous at some points, that still doesn't explain Passover, where it's like, so just all the kids died, and then all the Hebrew kids didn't die because they had the blood over the door.
They didn't pick one or the other. They tried to do both, and it was just confusing.
It was really,
Because there was a scene where a cloud goes over, and suddenly the baby's breaths are sucked away. Obviously, that is an act of God. There's no natural event.
There's no natural thing you can pin that on.
And then he made up one of the plagues where all those crocodiles attacked.
And that turned the Nile red.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a natural event that started the whole plague.
That was a little weak. But it was cool to see a bunch of crocodiles.
It was, but it felt like I was watching Jurassic Park out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was weird.
The part where there was dead babies, because I still think that's great.
Yeah,
I'm glad that they got the plagues right.
And I just honestly I wasn't that interested in seeing it, but except for the fact that it's Ridley Scott and also Egypt. Like, I love ancient Egypt, so I wanted to see like all the cool Egypt stuff. And so being an Egyptophile or whatever it is, I got kind of some jollies from seeing the costumes.
That's awesome.
And palaces and stuff like that.
Although this story is not known to take place in any known historical time. Yeah. So they're just representing Egypt time.
There's no evidence that the Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt at any time, and there's no like timing for when the story was supposed to happen. So it's just kind of like some weird.
And the pharaoh Ramesses, Ramekin. may or may not have ever even existed. Is that what the case is?
I don't know about that. I'm not entirely sure. I need to do a little bit more research.
Yeah, we didn't do much
but
research.
But I know that I was doing research after the film, and there is there's no hard evidence or proof that there was ever a mass of Hebrews enslaved in Egypt.
Point being, they represented Egypt beautifully.
Oh yeah.
Showing that's the reason I wanted to see the movie. Because I wanted to see what did Egypt really look like during its heyday. Mm-hmm. And wow, really good job.
Yeah.
The set designers.
So it sounds like
could win an Academy Award for all I know.
Yeah, everything about this film was
the movie. No way though.
The set looked great. Like the CGI.
It's just that's what's so frustrating and confusing about this movie.
So well made.
But once again, here we are. Like, but the fucking story though, guys.
I know. It's like it's weird.
Well, there are 4 scriptwriters on it.
It's a really bizarre choice. It's a really bizarre choice. I really wish I could talk to Ridley Scott about it. And be like, Ridley, like,
I know.
Like,
Ridley,
why?
So Ridley Scott, if you're listening, come on our show. Explain yourself,
come on.
Please.
Come to my house.
He might be listening. Maybe somebody told him about our Prometheus review, and he watched it.
Maybe.
Hey, it's a small world.
I'd love to know what you're so upset about. I would love to know. I'm really interested because I can feel that hate in there. But another thing is I feel like. I don't know. I wish that he wouldn't have wasted his time making a spiteful movie and instead did a movie that he really wanted.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like I was like you're 70-something years old
and you're wasting your time doing this.
Spend your last few years making a good movie you want to make.
I mean, it could have been, and that's what I felt like.
He didn't need the money.
Well, like maybe he did make it because he had to. So like he's like, okay, well I'm gonna technically make this the best movie I can make it, but I'm gonna make sure that it fucking
maybe it's
sucks.
A case of, I have a completely different
theory. What if everyone, while the movie was being made, was like, this is not coming out very good, guys. Yeah. And whoever the producers behind me, well, just throw more money at it. Just make it bigger. Yeah. More CGI.
Maybe.
And then it snowballed into this giant failure that we have.
Oh, it's fucking... and Christian Bale was a really bizarre choice. I mean, everyone was talking shit about the whitewashing in this movie, and I feel like...
oh, yeah, we didn't even bring that up.
I feel like the guy who played Ramesses, I mean, he looked Egyptian. Like, everybody looked the part except for Christian Bale. It's like he's just so not a Jew in any way, shape, or form. He is not Jewish looking at all. He is. You couldn't get a more white looking dude if you tried. That guy is so Anglo. Like it's just.
Oh yeah.
And like that was another thing. I was like, well, did he cast Christian Bale in order to like? I don't know. I just have so many weird theories.
To show the inaccuracies of the story.
To show the inaccuracies and show like
to
show how ridiculous like white Jesus is to Christians and stuff like that. Like, you know, have you seen the Olin Mills Jesus where he's got blue hair or blue eyes?
Right, I gotta imagine
there's
a reason behind it because Ridley Scott is a really smart guy.
Yeah, he couldn't just do this for no reason.
But he did say that the reason that he did that was because it would have been impossible to get this movie made in modern Hollywood without casting A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
And not enough A-list celebrities are authentic to the race of Egyptians. Although They do say that Egypt was full of mixed races potentially, but that's the thing about Egypt.
Dude,
all this information has been lost over history. We don't know what was really going on back then.
The more that we find out about ancient Egypt is that we're finding out that they were way more advanced than we ever thought possible.
Yeah.
That they actually probably were
I'm
hard to see
fascinated.
electricity.
There's so much stuff going on.
Dude, Egypt is just
Well, it's like
amazing.
people don't even realize that Cleopatra, I mean, she was Greek.
People don't realize how many thousands of years Egypt was going on and how it was a huge civilization that America will, the way things are going, will be a blip on the radar compared to
ancient Egypt.
to the civilization Egypt had.
Yeah.
In the history of the world. So anyway,
moving
I think
on.
we covered it.
Exodus. Don't go see it, but it's interesting.
You can rent it. It's I don't know. I'm still fascinated.
Well, I'm fascinated. I'm glad that I saw it. I just wish I could get some answers, but I don't know if I ever will.
Okay. So we have to talk about the Sony Spider-Man leak.
Sony Spider-Man.
Let's talk about Sony and Spider-Man leak.
All right.
So, do we think it was North Korea, or do you think it was somebody just posing as North Korea to do the Sony hack?
I'm gonna go with
I don't know.
Korea.
What have you guys heard? I haven't heard anything about.
Well, I heard that the reason they think it was Korea was that the code was written in Korean, so they think that's why they're linking that. Plus,
that's a big clue.
Well, plus Korea was also threatening Sony about the interview, and that was a while ago. They were threatening about it.
This gets me really excited to see the interview.
Yeah, I know. It's like Korea, you're doing this all wrong. Like, you just
wait until you see the movie, then
just let it come out, and then everyone will just probably forget about it in like a month. Whereas doing all this stuff is just really giving you a lot of.
In case people don't know, what did they threaten to go to war with the U.S. over this movie?
Yes.
But instead, all they could probably afford was some cyber attacks, which. If they really did do this, they were very effective.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's...
But you might be excited that you do this because it might mean Spider-Man goes into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, like, that's the one
How cool
thing...
would it be if, like, Korea was like, guys, how do we get Spider-Man back in the Marvel Universe? I've got a plan, guys.
This was their plan from the start.
Well, it's working.
Yeah,
I feel like even though, hacking and having all your private shit put out there for the world sucks, and I'm not a fan of that, the silver lining is I hope that people now put so much pressure on Sony that they have no choice but to share custody with Marvel Studios. Because that's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah,
you're right.
The thing that needs to be talked about is that, like, after this stuff has come out, Sony has now stopped production on a lot of things. Because now we're starting to find...
Is that the latest rumor?
No, fact. Because they're money starved. They're money strapped. Like, that's why they're at the negotiating table with Marvel, because they need money and they can't keep, affording these productions right now.
Yeah.
Right. And, this is such a crazy... This is amazing story because Sony's the place where this is their only major franchise. They have Spider-Man. It's a bragging rights. It's a big ego thing. And it's like, what's worse? Do we keep making Spider-Man movies and potentially they all suck and we bomb out that way and destroy ourselves? Or do we sell this to Marvel or lease it back to Marvel and do some kind of scenario, but then we look stupid to everyone and it's like, oh, you cowards.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to get paid or do you want to look stupid?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at this point you need to get paid.
Yeah.
And God. But they're talking about, first of all,
there's a lot of huge egos on the line, and from what I know about Hollywood, that overrules everything logic-wise.
It sucks. Like, Sinister Six movie probably not going to get made now. Like, Drew Goddard lost that, which I totally wanted to see that guy direct a superhero film. They were talking about a Venom movie, but now they don't even know which Venom they're going to use, and that probably
they shouldn't have announced all this stuff before they put Spider-Man 2 out anyway.
And the other rumor was that they wanted to do a Spider-Man prequel, I'm not fucking making this up, about Aunt May and her early spy days.
No!
Really? Is that what that was?
No!
Would that be... So, you know everything about Spider-Man. Would that be a good idea for a movie?
No! That'd be the worst thing ever! Nobody fucking gives a shit about Aunt May.
We don't. We're done. Like, the only thing I care about...
She just gets in the way.
Remember when they killed her off? That was great.
That was
brought
awesome.
her back.
That was awesome.
Shit.
What, they killed her off in the comics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, it's so dumb. It's so freaking dumb.
It's like, you know what? He's supposed to be from a normal family. He's just a normal guy. If his fucking mom and his dad and his fucking aunt are all spies, that kind of it takes away from that.
Him. Like,
from him.
I think we talked about this.
Being relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about this going back to our amazing Spider-Man 2 review, which, by the way, you should totally check out.
That was the top watched Plopcast of all time, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
See, I'm telling you,
Spider
Spider-Man is relevant. Spider-Man matters to people. He's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
a hot topic.
But that's what makes him relatable. Like, if you do this whole, like, predestined thing where, like, he was always supposed to become Spider-Man, it takes away what makes Peter special. Like, no, the spider bit him. And he made the right choices with it.
Yeah.
That's where the whole, like, with great power comes great responsibility lesson is.
Yeah.
If it's like this, like, it was about to happen because of who his family was, it was in his genes and his genetics, and he's the only one that could ever get bit by the spider so he could get the powers, that's fucking bullshit. It takes away the specialness of him.
Yeah, that's where Sony's going wrong. They don't know these obvious things.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what
To
about...
me, obvious.
What about I mean, how awesome would it be to have Spider-Man in the Civil War?
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like Spider-Man plays such a big role in Civil War.
So he's the
and
linchpin
Yeah,
in Civil
since
War.
Okay.
He is. He's the linchpin. So it's like
Wait, let me stop you before they do that. That's a great thing to tell our audience, because a lot of people are coming from a movie world. They don't know the comic angle. What happens in the Civil War storyline? And this is going to be...
We'll try not to spoil the movie because I don't know what they're going to do in the movie.
Okay, so the Civil War storyline is where the Superpower Registration Act comes back around, and this is also in the Marvel Universe, so that includes mutants.
And it's not just mutants this time. It's anybody...
anyone who's got superpowers...
Or is fighting crime, vigilante.
Yeah, you've got to register with the government and all this sort of stuff. And so you have... Captain America, who's like, no, that violates your civil rights and your civil liberties. You shouldn't have to tell people, like, this is going to ruin people's lives to have to do this. And then you have on the other side Tony Stark, who's like, fuck you. Like, fucking...
We have to earn our trust, and this is why we have to do it this
like,
way.
you guys need to fucking sign up. And so, you know, a big thing is Spider-Man goes on the side of Tony Stark, and he reveals himself, and that's kind of like a big thing at a press conference. He's like, you know what, everybody? I'm getting on board with Tony Stark. I'm Spider-Man. I'm really Peter Parker, unmasked himself. And it was
huge.
It was huge.
And it was great because it was this amazing story where
even though they retconned like all of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's gone now, but like it was so fascinating and fun to watch Tony Stark take Peter under his wing as a father figure.
And made him an Iron Man spider suit.
Made him the Iron Spider suit, which was fucking badass. And it was really cool because it made like science Peter really fun and interesting. Yeah. And it was great that they connected over that. Yeah. Like, I love that entire thing.
Because that's another thing. Like, Tony Stark is a scientist and so is Peter Parker. You know, and they can relate on that level.
Well, yeah. When I heard that Marvel announced that they were going to do Civil War in Captain America 3, I was really excited. I think it's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Although,
Robert Downey Jr. is co-starring in the Captain.
That's fantastic. Like, couldn't be more excited.
But it's just like Civil War, I feel like doesn't have the impact that it would have if Marvel Studios had the rights to the X-Men and to mutants.
Well, okay, so that's my
Very
question.
true.
What if they aren't able to get Spider-Man? Who are they going to put in that part to tell that part of the story?
Know.
What character has the relevance?
Yeah, and hiding the identity and how it's impactful. That person who's been hiding their identity so hard coming out.
So if they don't get Spider-Man, it kind of sucks because the story won't be as good as the comic.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's just, it would be great to have Spider-Man.
Now, so apparently Sony's going to have a Spider-Man summit in January. Right? That's coming up very soon in 3 weeks. So I think, hopefully,
for the next 3 weeks,
they have a chance to listen to this.
Yeah.
So what do you want to tell them?
Do it. Share custody with Marvel. Do it.
Okay, here it is. Sony, it would be the best PR move in the face of the earth if you did this.
Yes.
You guys already look bad. You already look weak because you got hacked.
Yeah.
It obviously looks like you guys are very, very confused and don't really know what you're doing.
Oh, they're going to be super confused. They're constantly having to apologize for offending celebrities and stuff.
So I think the biggest show of goodwill towards fans.
Yes, towards fans.
And for fans of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I implore
fans of
you.
Spider-Man, good point.
I implore you.
Yeah.
Please give Marvel back Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Please.
Just do it.
Come on.
Just do it.
There it is.
The fans will love it.
Yes.
The fans, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like you're going to have everybody on the planet like getting a crazy fucking Spider-Man boner over this, you know? And it's just like, why not? Why not get that hype for your character, you know?
I think it's going to happen. I don't know. I'm feeling it.
I feel it too.
I'm feeling it.
I feel it too.
I feel like
I don't want to give into it though. I'm afraid to give into it and then have my little
this is me
expectations.
getting my hopes up for Star Wars.
You know, we just talked about trailers.
You know,
this is the episode where we put our hopes on the line. Spider-Man is going to be
We dream of
in
a
the
better
Marvel
world
universe.
that will exist in.
Yeah.
We're getting hyped for Star Wars, get hyped for Jurassic World.
What can we do to get
And we're
Fox?
getting hyped for Spider-Man being in the Marvel universe.
God, I wish Fox had fucked up and we could potentially get X-Men in the Marvel
Yeah, I
universe.
know.
I hate to say it, but those last couple of X-Men films, I think they are not letting it go.
They're not. They're trying to turn
fine.
it around.
Don't get greedy, all right?
No.
We
No.
want Spider-Man.
Do you know how fucking cool it'd be to see Wolverine on the fucking Avengers?
Duh.
Hello.
Well, if this happens and they put Spider-Man in that, then they're starting a whole thing no one's ever done before: crossovers among studios, properties. So it is possible they could. That could be a step.
Okay, and
It's an evolution.
Let me throw that one on there. Sony, you will see so much money come your way.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's for the sake
Well,
of like
they said
ego,
that the
don't
scenario
hold on
was
to
a
it.
60-40 split, like funds
Do
wise.
it. Just do it. You will make so much
You'll
money.
make more money than you would making your own shitty fucking.
Right, because these Spider-Man
Bingo.
movies have been
Spider-Man
losing
movies.
money.
Yeah.
The last one made way less than any other Spider-Man movie before it.
Yeah.
And then, they can't keep going on the current path.
Well, no, I'm not going to see their next Spider-Man movie. I'm done.
I don't think
Right.
we can.
I'm
No,
done.
I'm
And
with you on that.
you
one.
read that Andrew Garfield, of course, offended Sony by not showing up at a... Do you guys know what this?
No.
There was some kind of Sony event where the big head honcho CEOs, maybe people from Japan, Sony, that aren't a part of the movie industry, the real people that own everything, they showed up, and like Andrew Garfield was supposed to appear, all right? And he was with just an hour's notice, he called and was like, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it," and then they were really offended by that, and they're like, they might just dump him because of that.
Well-
Like that's a big offense, especially to the Japanese,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
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 So.
But maybe he's
And he's
hell,
publicly
man.
said some things that Sony
Maybe
doesn't
Andrew
like
Garfield
about
is
Spider-Man.
the biggest Spider-Man fan.
Well,
and even
Sony's
he
publicly
knows.
said things about Sony that Sony doesn't
According
like.
to the hacks.
Yeah.
Didn't
it's
they admit that it was
the,
bad?
well, the Adam Sandler movies are talking about how stupid those movies are and how they hate making that
what
shit.
did they say?
Like,
What did they say? What was that?
Oh God, I don't even remember. It was just like
There's so much good stuff coming out of this
it's
leak.
so good.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's still. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I don't think it's a bad thing to bring it up now. Like, I also feel bad about the invasion of privacy on this.
Yeah, and it's like that sucks. Like, and
Yeah.
I would hate to think that any of these producers lose their jobs over them just like venting with their friends in a high-powered fucking situation. It's like the thing is like these people are dealing with millions and millions of dollars on the line. Like they've got so much pressure on them that we can't even begin to understand.
And I think-
the fact that they're just cracking some innocent jokes with their friends, and then everyone trying to crucify
the
them
thing
over
is,
it. It's
this
so
is
stupid.
really nothing compared to. I'm sure that they have thousands of emails full of stuff that's way worse that they're probably freaking out about. It's like, what if they release what we really
Well, that's
said?
what I'm saying. Is like if that's the worst stuff that they've found so far, I mean that's really not that bad.
And it sucks.
I mean,
Like, I should be able, in the privacy of my own home and in the privacy of my own emails,
yeah,
be able to say whatever the fuck I want.
yeah.
Like, it's
You should.
the truth.
You
Like,
should.
I should.
But the nature of our jobs, we can't really take a moral high ground and be like, we're not going to read the Sony leaks because of this and that. You're like,
Yeah.
Well, no,
everyone we know is gonna know.
I'm
But
going to read them, but I'm not going to be offended by them and then
Absolutely.
go,
Yeah. Good
I
point.
demand
Good
an
point.
apology for what you said between you and your friends that had nothing to do with fucking me.
And I know
Right.
that I'm a
It's like,
person,
ugh.
like, I'm going to sound very naive because I really do wish that there is still some sliver of privacy in people's lives in 10 years. I'm the guy who, I still haven't watched, or I haven't looked at any of the Jennifer Lawrence pictures. Mm-hmm. Like, I just thought that was the biggest invasion of
and
privacy.
I'm a guy who saw them because a friend showed them to you
was
and
like-
was very
he was like,
excited
"Look
about.
Oh, that sucks.
Here,
I
yeah.
watched that friend.
So it's like,
Like, I just, but like, that wasn't.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
when some giant event like this happens, it's kind of like you can't take a moral high ground because it's so prevalent.
Again, that's we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, but Jennifer, if you're listening, coffee. That's all I'm asking for.
That's it.
I didn't look. I did
didn't
not look.
I want to look in real
I
life.
didn't look.
And
don't
there's
make
nothing
that
really to be
creepy.
offended about. She has a great body, and
Well, then
what?
yeah.
I'm pretty
well,
sure
no,
she-
but it sucks that she, like has to go. Oh, sorry guys, I was sending my boyfriend hot pictures. It's like you're a good girlfriend. Why do you have to apologize for being a good girlfriend?
Yeah.
It sucks
Like,
that there's so many people out there that are going to be upset about that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I mean-
well, everybody just wants to be offended right now. Like, we're in
Yeah.
some cry bitch baby fucking time right now where everybody wants to cry about something and complain, I was offended and you hurt my feelings. And everybody's just like having to apologize and have all these public apologies all the time. And it's just like, fucking get over it. Fucking get over it.
Well, that's a whole big topic for another thing.
Like,
Yeah.
god damn it. Quit being so fucking lame, everybody. Ugh. It's like I saw this fucking hilarious meme. It had a picture of a Viking on it, and it says, like, how does it feel to be so weak that mere words can hurt you? You know? And I was just like, thought that was so funny. It was just
Well,
like,
we are at a unique time in history, and I think historians are going to look back on this time and be like, we haven't realized what's really going on. And what I think is happening is like, we've never had the internet to the point where it is now. We've evolved the internet to where everyone's on the internet. It was only really at 2012 where everyone was on the internet, and I'm counting like when your mom was on Facebook, stuff like that. So now like all these people have an opinion that we're for some reason listening to.
Yeah.
Every crazy person in the world has an opinion, and they have a voice where we're all listening to it.
Yeah.
And like I think eventually we're gonna realize, these are all just 12-year-olds.
Well, the people complaining on the internet. Yeah.
The shame is that there's people that feel that they are obligated.
I'm saying this is not a true representation of how society feels. Mm-hmm. That what we think it is.
Yeah, everyone thinks that like the people on the internet that are really loud and crazy, it's like, that's what everybody thinks. It's like, no, that's not what everybody thinks.
Scum rises to the top. Scum rises to the top. The loudest voice is what everyone thinks, what people think.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's a lot of squeaky wheels on the internet.
And that's why like top YouTubers like PewDiePie are turning off their comments because it doesn't work. The comment system does not work.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's anonymous and anyone can say whatever they want.
That bothers me about everyone with the internet culture is like people placating and like going out of their way to try to please internet people, and it's just like don't listen to them.
Yeah.
They're just crazy people, like 12-year-olds and angry people. Like you don't need to fucking be scared of these fucking internet people. Like,
and the other thing that scares me is that there is so much entitlement going around. So these people feel like they're entitled to be the loudest person. Mm-hmm. And that really frustrates me because that's not how you actually have a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
So...
No, it's a problem, man. It's a problem.
That's why we need to move our comments to Facebook so they can all be healthy conversations.
So T-Bone just said that you guys need to move all your comments to Facebook. So it can be. It's never. If it's on the internet, it's not ever going to be a completely healthy conversation. But
yeah, it's a thing.
All I'm saying is that we are considering moving our comments to Facebook or to an external site where they're moderated properly. Yeah. Because if you go to any forum that's on a topic, like people are having constructive conversations that are like fun. Oh. YouTube comments constantly de-evolve into the worst filth possible. It just doesn't work. The system doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's a broken system.
Anyway, we're considering that for the future for 2015. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It worked for PewDiePie, and he said he was happier than he's ever been in his life.
Yeah.
Now that he did that. So, and he's the top YouTuber.
Right. Throw him under the bus.
Yeah. I mean, you could get angry at people who are trolls, but no. Just take it out on that guy.
Yeah.
So, all right.
What else we got?
It's time to finally talk about comics.
What about the calendar update? There's also that whole thing, which we never talked about.
Well, you can put that at the end.
Okay.
Or do it now. Go for it. We're live on the air.
All right, guys.
Do it.
So, if you've been listening to the show and been following us, we've been working on a calendar for the past 7 months. We finally finished the calendar. We will be getting them back from the printers this Wednesday. It is on sale right now on comicbookgirl19.com, and we're just so excited about it. It was so much fun.
Wait, I pre-ordered, so shouldn't mine be here already?
Yeah, yours will be here before other people's when we get it on Wednesday, and after I sign a bunch of them.
Oh, so you mean it didn't get lost in the mail?
No.
Because none of them actually shipped. Is that what you're saying?
None of them have shipped. We're waiting for them to come back. If you read your monkey mail, people
people aren't reading their monkey mail.
I know. It's like I go through the trouble to make a monkey mail, and I send out these updates, and then everyone's like attacking me on my social media about it. It's like, did you not read I made an email for you.
There was a literal memo.
There was a literal memo.
I send a memo every month.
Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah. So, I'm going to send out another memo this week, reiterating what's going on. But yeah, lately we've just been getting ready to ship everything. We got our boxes going. We got our label printer. We've got tape and everything else. We're just waiting to get them back from the printers. So.
And wait, Kirk hasn't seen the pictures yet.
What?
I was gonna have Kirk give us a reaction. I just realized we didn't even show you yet.
I've seen some of the preliminary stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've watched you guys the whole process, which has been kind of really fucking cool.
Super intense.
I have not seen a couple of the final pictures.
Yeah, no, we'll show you after. It's super dope.
This was the biggest project.
It's a huge art project. It was a huge art project. I learned a lot about managing people and a big project like this, and hopefully it prepared me to manage bigger projects for the show later on. But I think it turned out really good. It's the Magik.Sexy.Cosplay Calendar. I think it's got a lot of magic and a lot of sex in it.
I'm there for the magic.
There's going to be
I don't want you to be
upcoming
insulting
making of videos coming out over the next few weeks. There's still like 5 or 6 videos.
Yeah.
Making of to look forward to.
Yeah. So definitely get on it, guys. If you want like the coolest calendar you've ever had in your whole life, then this is the one. If you're finally like, I'm ready to have the coolest calendar I'll ever have in my life, then this is the time.
And think about it, guys. When you purchase a calendar, and the pictures are really, really rad.
Yeah.
You take the calendar apart and then you frame those pictures.
Yeah.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving.
You know, it's another thing I'd like to say is by buying this calendar, you are supporting the show. So if you're looking for a way to support the show, then this is a great way. This is a great way because all the funds are going kind of back into the show. So yeah.
So where do you buy this calendar?
You can go to comicbookgirl19.com.
Oh, look, here it is on screen.
There's some. Yep, you can click right there. Click it.
This pink button?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where to click. Where do I click?
The order, yeah, that one.
Wait, this order now button? That's
Just
it?
shut up and click it.
Okay.
There you go. And
it was that easy, huh?
So
man.
For all my U.S. people, for all my domestic guys, we have free U.S. shipping.
Wait, I'm not sure which of these 3 options to click. Which one should I click?
Well, are you domestic or international?
I live in America. Where do I click?
Well, then free U.S. shipping is the one you pick.
Okay.
If you're international, we have 2 different options. We have a priority mail and then a first class mail. So one is a little bit more expensive than the other one. So I want to give people the option.
I haven't seen that one. The 2 that I've seen are Dazzler and Spiral, and that's it.
Yeah.
And those came out really fucking badass.
We'll give you a spoiler after the Plopcast of all the other pictures we have.
I'm cooler than
really
you guys. Sorry. I get to see it.
So international though, which one should I choose if I lived in, let's say, Mexico?
Well, you could choose either one if you live in Mexico. It just depends on whether you want to get it faster or if you want to pay less money and get it slower.
I want to get it cheaper.
Well, then go to cheap international shipping right there. Bam.
What are the downsides if I buy the cheap version?
I don't think we can get tracking, although a guy was just telling me the other day there might be a way for me to get tracking. So there may or may not be tracking on these ones, but it kind of gets there when it gets there. Whereas with the priority international shipping, it gets there within 6 to 10 days. So
well, that sounds more guaranteed. So maybe I should go with that.
It is more guaranteed, but it also costs a little bit more.
Well, the world's a big place, and it's really tough to ship things like that.
It is really tough to ship things.
I understand the downside then.
Yeah.
Thanks for filling me in.
Yeah, no problem.
Spend a couple of bucks, guys, to make sure it's there by the 1st, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what a calendar's for.
Good idea. Okay, well, that's been covered. So why don't you guys talk about comic books?
Oh,
Where are we
wow.
going to go with this?
Well, I want to start the whole comics conversation off with the fact that I have just gotten back into DC Comics, everyone.
Shut the fuck up.
I know. I want to give a big shout out to DC for putting out some comic books that I'm interested in. I'm really excited about a lot of the new titles that they have going on. First up, Batgirl with, where we go?
We got.
I think it starts on number 35
It starts
or
with
something.
35.
35 is the new Batgirl. It's so much fun. It's really cute.
I don't really have a camera on it tonight.
Yeah,
this is like an impromptu thing.
There's no camera here, but Cameron Stewart is writing it, and he's doing a great job. He's also doing the covers.
Don't worry, I'll Google
the colors. The colors are popping.
Yeah, it's just this. It's so much. It's just such a really fun, girly adventure.
And they're trying to make
comic.
it more like contemporary to it's Barbara dealing with what she would deal with today with social media and the internet and going to college and what her friends have to deal with. And there was a version of Tinder that showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you hook up.
And I really, again, I miss Gail Simone. I really miss Gail. I loved her run. But this is fun. Like, and it's adventurous. They took a chance.
Yeah, they took a chance, and I just love that they let Stewart redesign Batgirl's outfit to something that's a bit more contemporary, something that girls can cosplay in, that girls are going to totally cosplay in.
Maybe we'll even get some gender bender dudes.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because guys are going to look for an excuse to buy yellow Doc.
No, it's great. It's great. So yeah, Batgirl's one that I'm really excited about. The Gotham Academy is another one.
You talk about that. That's cool.
Gotham Academy, Becky Cloonan. And man, it's like Harry Potter. It has a lot of Harry Potter flavor. It takes place in Gotham at this school, this like prep school or whatever. And it's like there's only on issue 3. I've only read the first 2. I got to go get the 3rd issue.
Okay.
So, but it's like I don't know how to explain. How would you explain it?
You know what? It's still too early, but I like
know,
the
it's
fact
so
that these
early.
kids kind of have a pulse on what's going on, like the mythology of Gotham.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool.
Yeah.
It's a complex title to describe.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, like, if you're into Harry Potter, then you may enjoy Gotham County. It's not like there's Batman in it all the time or anything. Like, Batman's not even in it. Like, it's kind of taking place just in another place. I'm sure he'll be mentioned or he'll probably show up at some point, I would assume. Yeah. But it's not a Batman title.
No.
It's focusing on these kids at the school and these mysterious things going on. There's magic and superhero stuff and all that.
Speaking and kind of in the same vein, there was another title that I picked up called Gotham by Midnight, and I was actually waiting for this one. It's Ray Fox and Ben Templesmith. Mm-hmm. Right away, those are two names that I really like to follow. Templesmith, I love his art. It's and Fox's writing, and this is quite literally, like Gotham's X-Files team.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a whole other team of guys that kind of deal with the paranormal that happens in Gotham. And Batman actually does make a little bit of an appearance, but it's really simple concept. I'm sure they went in there and were just like, all right, it's the Mulder and Scully of
that's cool
of Gotham City PD.
Yeah. Well, have you been reading Greyson?
No, because I have my issues.
Well, I picked up Greyson.
Okay, Greyson.
My friend Dax. He took a picture and put on his Instagram of how hot Dick Grayson is in this comic. Michael Janin. I don't know how to say his name.
The girls are really loving the Grayson butt.
Man, no, yeah, he looks great in this. Like,
is this it right here?
That's it.
Well,
that was the Future Xana
yeah, that's
issue.
Not the right one.
Yeah, it's okay. You just let him know.
That's not that hot of an image. Come on, we can do better than that.
Is it one of these?
But like that first one right there. Yeah.
This one?
No,
Yeah.
the one you had your thing.
There you go.
Sure.
But it's like, Dick Grayson, he's been killed, and so he's trying to remain dead.
Yeah.
So he's working. He's not really dead, obviously. So he's been working for this kind of spy organization, Spiral, the Spiral or something.
No, I think it's Spiral, and they're kind of like a reoccurring deal in the comics. Again, we don't read a whole lot of DC, so I hope I'm getting this right. But
yeah, but it's like the drawings of Dick are really hot, and there's just really
why's that?
great anatomy going on there. It's just hot. I don't know. As a chick, it's like, whoa, look at that drawing. Something for me. Something for me.
It's very
something for the ladies.
It's very Winter Soldier inspired.
Yeah. It's just like that artist in particular is really great, and it's just kind of a fun story. It's not I'm not like blown away by it, but it's just a fun casual read.
This is my dumb silly nitpick with it is that I feel like ever since the New 52 happened, and probably even before that a little bit, like Dick Grayson's character has always been, his status quo has been dictated by whatever big event is going on in DC Comics. So I feel like that character constantly is being used for that, and like in this case, misused for that. So I mean, I loved him as Nightwing. I thought what they were doing with him in Nightwing was fucking badass.
Yeah.
But that's kind of.
But I'm just I'm excited. I'm doing some DC comics. Pax Americana. We should probably talk about that real quick.
Let's talk about Pax Americana and the multiverse and Grant Morrison.
Yeah. So
Let's just do that really quickly.
So
I set up a camera for you guys. So
okay, cool.
So there's
Holy shit, it's happening.
There's a whole bunch of multiversity comics coming out.
Yes.
I don't entirely understand how they all connect, or if they all connect, or what the
last couple have started to connect.
Okay.
You're starting to see, but there's an underlining thread that's going to join them all together. But I just want to talk about the fact that these self-contained stories have been amazing. Let's see.
Okay, so this thing on the side here. Right. So it has 1 through 51.
And whatever's highlighted
and then whatever
is
highlighted,
what Earth is happening on.
Okay. Oh, no, is that what Earth is happening on, or is that what issue in the series it's going to be?
No, it's what Earth is happening on.
Wait, there's that many Earths?
Yep.
There's
it's 52. The new 52, the multiversity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a camera on you right now, so show people the pictures.
Right. So you've got, this is the Just, and this is one of the Earths, and it's Grant Morrison, and it's just really cool. This whole Earth is made up of kind of the children of superheroes, but Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man. Whoops, get your shit straight, Kirk. Superman kind of created like a new cyborg like policing army.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of crime going on anymore.
Okay.
So a lot of the children of the superheroes have just basically taken up like cosplaying and reenacting like some of the biggest crises.
That's awesome.
In DC's history.
That's hilarious.
And they're they're a little spoiled, and a lot of them are really rich. But like it's Damian and Connor. Is it Connor? I can't remember because I read this thing a few weeks ago. But it's just been fantastic.
Yeah.
I really did like the whole bromance thing going on with Damian and their Superboy.
Ooh.
But very cool, very very cool.
Yep.
But that's just one. And there were some other multiversity issues that I really hope you guys go pick up because they're starting to see different variations of other characters and what kind Grant's been working with. But the Pax Americana, I want you guys to understand what I'm going to talk about right now.
Yeah, this thing is nuts. It's Frank Quietly.
This is probably one of the best comics I've ever read. And it is written so that technically you can read it forward and backwards.
Yeah, no, okay, no, I have a question about that because
Okay.
I tried to read it backwards.
Yeah.
Now, if you're reading it backwards,
Yes.
say I'm reading it backwards, do you read it like this?
I've been
whoop?
starting and going in complete reverse.
That's what I thought. That's what I did. And most of the time it kind of
there's
goes,
kind of three other stories going on because there's one that kind of starts at the beginning and is finalized at the end, and there's another one at the end that is finalized in the beginning. It's all connected. Mm-hmm. But there's a really great scene where like their version of the Question is trying to help solve a crime. Mm-hmm. And shoot, I hope I find it because we're kind of doing this all at the same time right now. But
I
it's
really
almost
like
like
the Question.
The Question's fantastic. And no, I'm gonna lose it. Oh well. But anyways, it's like all three stories kind of intersecting at the same time, and it's the Question passing through. Like, I'm trying to find the right way to explain this. Like, story number one at the beginning, story number two at the end, and then the underlying story that goes throughout the entire episode all meet during this part.
Yeah.
And each panel is kind of like from what's happening during that part of the storyline.
Well, I think that like Grant Morrison is really, and just what we were talking about Nolan and time.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison's also very interested in time and structure and pacing within comics and playing with that, and
Right.
that's what he's really doing a lot in Pax Americana. But I read a really great article. I can't remember. I'll have to find it and put it in the description, a link to it. But
Right.
This guy was talking about what he felt that Grant Morrison was trying to talk about in Pax Americana, and I really liked what he said. And he was saying that he feels like, in this comic, you have all these people and they're trying to find peace and trying to find, like, how do we do this? But they're doing it through violence. And so kind of he's saying that, peace will always be stained if you achieve it through violence.
Right.
And how, and you have these two violent acts where the president gets shot in the head in the beginning, and then you also have, the superhero, the father getting shot by the kid.
Right.
In the end, and it's like both these, I don't know, the way the guy explained it was fantastic. Like, it was just...
And there's something really cool. This is a very Watchmen-inspired comic book. Mm-hmm. Like, there's variations of the Watchmen characters.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this.
I was wondering about that.
There is a Dr. Manhattan
yeah,
character.
it's like, is that Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah.
Because he's got the fucking sun thing on his head and all that.
Excuse me. And
yeah,
then,
but he's, like, all super fucked up and like...
And it's that whole thing where it gets kind of turned on itself because the Watchmen characters were inspired by, like, the Charlton heroes of Captain Atom and those guys. Mm-hmm. And then it's almost like these characters are inspired by those Watchmen characters.
Well, wasn't Watchmen supposed to be, like Blue Beetle and the Question, and it was supposed to actually be but then he had to make analogs for those characters because then they were like, you can't use those characters.
Yes, and so that's why they used them, like, based on the old Charlton characters. So I just really... I've probably read this comic about 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah,
and
I had to read it a few times.
Always finding new little nuances. The other thing, Frank Quietly, can we just stop for a second? He drew the fuck out of this comic.
Oh yeah, no, look at this. This is amazing.
There's 3 issues worth of art here. Just panel after panel after panel.
Yeah, really, really fine stuff. Really good stuff. Now, is there going to be more Pax Americanas?
Who knows? I don't think so. I think
because it says 1 on there.
I think everyone is just a 1 issue. But you're going to eventually all start connecting.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a bunch of things connecting, Spider-Verse, Edge of the Spider-Verse. There's a big,
Spider-Verse.
in the Marvel universe, there's a big Spider-Verse event happening. Tell us about the Edge of the Spider-Verse. What does it mean?
Marvel has promised every single Spider-Man ever in this story. And it's all connected as far as all the writers have worked together. But an old character by the name of Morlon is back. He was during this period of time with Ezekiel, who also had spider powers, and was talking about, like, they introduced the idea of the animal totems in Peter's life. And this was all during Straczynski's run. And then a lot of this stuff got retconned. But they brought these characters back. And it has been very fun, because it's like every variation and alternate dimension of Spider-Man that we've seen before. And we've also got to introduce, like, new versions of it. But basically, it's spinning out of Morlon is the one guy that killed Peter once before, and he has a family, and they're all from another dimension, and they literally feast off of the powers of all the spider characters.
Okay.
So this is the family have basically thrown down the gauntlet, and they are now going to hunt down all the other Spider-Mans and, like, different variations and alternate realities of them. And these guys have all banded together and said, like, we got to put a stop to this.
Okay.
And they're super powerful, and we are losing. There's a lot of casualties in the storyline.
Okay.
But we're still early in it, and it's spinning out into new series and new titles.
Yeah, like Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
How hot? She's so hot right now, Spider-Gwen.
I love Spider-Gwen.
Oh
She's
my
actually my lock screen right now.
Well, it's like, that's my thing about, like, Spider-Gwen. Like, that is such a hot idea, and people are loving it. It's like, are they gonna just continue to do Spider-Gwen? You know, like, are they?
Spider-Gwen is an alternate version of Spider-Man who
if
Peter Parker didn't make it in her.
Yeah, if Gwen Stacy got bit by the spider.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker didn't, and Peter Parker ends up injecting himself with the serum, becoming essentially the lizard.
The lizard.
But then dies from that injection. And so, like, in Gwen Stacy's universe, Peter Parker dies instead of Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy dies.
And I like that Peter's super, throughout the story, he's been really overprotective of her.
Yeah.
Like, every time they send out different squads to a different reality, he's like, no, she's staying here. And everyone's kind of like, what? Actually, Spider-Gwen's been very much like, why is he really overprotective? And finally I had to explain to her, like, no, you understand. You were his first love in a different reality.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. So you've got the Spider-Woman story, and that's got Jessica Jones, or not Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I found that this one was really...
Jessica Drew and Silk.
Well, this one was kind of odd, because I feel like for a number one... It's not.
You can't. Right in the middle of the story.
It throws you right in the middle of the Spider-Verse nonsense that's going on. So I couldn't follow it. Right. I didn't know what was going on.
No, you need to be up on.
You guys talking about the Spider-Woman number one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. I had no idea. It just kept switching to,
but
like,
the problem
nonsense.
was actually really, really good if
you know what's going on. But
and so, like, we have the Scarlet Spiders, and these are all, like, the different Ben Reilly variations, and they're on a squad. And I haven't read this one yet, but it also hops right in the middle of it from the first 5 pages that I picked up from it.
Yeah.
And then I think there's also Spider-Man 2099 with Miguel. He's going to have his own squad. But yeah, there's a lot of Spider-Man going on right now.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of Spider stuff.
Even Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe, he's on a squad.
Yeah.
Spider-Ham is on a squad.
Spider-Ham.
Peter Porker.
Yeah.
And I really also want to implore you guys to go find this. I'm pretty sure it's on a second printing right now. But Gerard Way actually made his Marvel debut writing a Spider-Man issue for the Edge of Spider-Verse. And he was the original writer of
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy, and also the writer, or lead singer for... I forgot.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, anyways. But he writes an alternate Spider-Man story, and it's amazing, so please go find that.
Yeah.
It's called Edge of Spider-Verse, issue number 5.
And Beans.
And Beans is here.
Let's see here.
So as a huge Spider fan, I am freaking out.
What about...
Which, by the way, can we talk about this really quickly? We've got... Which version did you get? You've got all 3 of them?
Yeah, we have the... So, I got the Manara... I got the Manara variant.
Yes.
And if you noticed, or if you know what was going on with the Manara snafu earlier this year. He did a variant cover for Spider-Woman, although you could see her butt, and it was very suggestive, and then a lot of people freaked out over it for no reason because it's ridiculous. We live in a witch hunt society, apparently. So, yeah. So the thing was, I was really excited to get this variant, and then when I got it, they pushed out and they put the logo over her butt, to appease all of the angry people who don't even read comics on the internet. And so what I'm going to do with this comic is I'm going to frame it. I'm going to put it up in my house, and it's going to remind me to never puss out. And don't be afraid to show my ass sometimes, in metaphorically speaking. Well, it's like, I feel like this year...
You literally have to put your ass out there on the line.
Well, this year I feel like, I've tried to kind of be a little bit more diplomatic than I was when I first started. And I feel like that's kind of a mistake now. After doing it for about a year, I feel like that's fucking bullshit. And I shouldn't have to do that. And so this is my reminder to not... to not puss out and just don't be. Well, it's like this political correct shit that we're coming into right now. It really, really sucks. So I'm gonna be a champion against political correctness. I'm gonna champion being offensive. I'm gonna be more offensive in 2015.
Speak your mind.
I'm gonna speak it. I'm not gonna be scared of a bunch of crazy people on the internet complaining.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is a lot more to be said, of course, about that topic, and maybe we'll talk about it later. So we could
but it's coming.
Yeah, but
the whole podcast
Manara,
with that controversy.
Nobody needs to hide that ass.
All right.
Have you seen his other art? Dude, he knows how to draw ass.
Oh, yeah.
No, he can draw the female body like
that's
nobody's
what the
business.
shame is like the
He
shame
draws
is
amazing ass.
He's attacked and stopped drawing comics now because of this one drawing that wasn't his best maybe, but he's had a lot of really good drawings.
Well, I just the thing that really I think is damaging from this whole Manara incident is the fact that 2 years ago, Marvel had 0 female-led titles.
Right.
0. Now you have She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Storm, Black Widow, Elektra has her own title.
That's true.
And now Spider-Woman has her own title. So it's like Marvel has been really going out of their way to make comics with female leads in them. So it's not, so it's like they're making more comics that I'm excited
about. So you said this is the best time to actually be a girl reading comics. So this is the best time for,
to be a female reader in Marvel Comics.
Right.
And then you have all these crazy feminist ladies who don't even probably read comics jumping down Marvel's throat and being fucking being mean to them when they're doing more shit for females than they've ever done before. And it's and because of that, I'm afraid that Marvel is going to get scared of making stuff for women if this is the reaction that they get over stuff.
I can see that.
And so they're going to stop making stuff for me because they're listening to these crazy bitches on the internet who, again, don't even read these fucking comics.
Which, by the way, I like the fact they freaked out about the cover. And if you read the issue, one of the other Spider-Girls...
If you read the issue that most people will ever see, most people will never even see that.
Yeah.
Because that's a 1 out of 50 variant.
But even in the issue, they talk about, one of the other characters goes, what's her deal besides the fact that she is now... her body's perfect and it's bringing up every single body issue that I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing of people who are complaining about this character is in the Marvel universe, she is kind of known for being a little sexual.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of her character.
Control men.
Yeah, that's part of her
women.
deal, and that's okay. It's like slut shaming. I feel like they're slut shaming Spider-Woman.
Well, all right. Since we're going there, another thing that you brought up that was a really good point was that it's not that you feel like there should be many different representations of all different types of women in comics.
Yes.
And not just one representation of women in comics, and then things would be fine.
Right, yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing, too.
If you can say there is a problem, maybe you're saying the problem is almost all girls are drawn really sexy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It'd be great to see more body types. I love to see, a girl with, curvy chick. I'm into that. But I'd also like to see, more athletic chicks, skinny chicks with no boobs. If it fits the character. I would love to see more of that stuff. But it's just this is the thing about, people they need to make, comics for everybody and comics for women. It's but that doesn't mean that they need to stop making comics for dudes. I don't.
Yeah, that's a black and white fallacy.
Every comic should not be made for you. Every comic in the world isn't made for me. And I understand that. And I don't ask that every comic be made for me because that sucks and that's stupid. Like everybody's different, everybody has different interests, and I don't
Probably
mind
a
that.
little boring too. Like if it was just the same thing being like catered and placated to, then you're just like, oh, why am I even into this anymore?
Yeah, so it's just, like it's, it's cool to have, ridiculous comics for guys, ridiculous comics for girls, and for everybody in between.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah.
What else did we?
Oh, you had some She-Hulk news.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to talk about this for a second.
Because we love She-Hulk. It's being canceled. The Charles Soule.
I don't know if they're calling it canceled or it's just they just wrote the story for 12 issues, but it's definitely becoming a trend now, especially with Marvel, that they are planning. Like we've got Spider-Woman and we've got the Scarlet Spiders, and like those titles might only last until the end of Spider-Verse and then be quote unquote canceled. Mm-hmm. And I think that we haven't seen the end of She-Hulk yet. I'm pretty sure like this run will be done.
Yeah.
And then 6 to 9 months someone else will have a new take of the character. That's why we'll get a new She-Hulk #1.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get more Patsy Walker too. That's one thing I'm kind of worried about. Is like I know that She-Hulk is going to be back one way or another. Patsy Walker, though, I don't know what she's going to be doing. I love that. I love Patsy Walker. I've never really read anything with Hellcat in it, and after reading She-Hulk, I'm a huge Hellcat fan all of a sudden.
I'm a huge fan of just the title. I mean, Soul knocked it out of the park with that title.
Oh yeah.
And we were really depressed, and I'm really glad that you did your own video, having the wake.
Yeah.
I really needed that. That was actually very therapeutic for me.
Yeah, me too.
But I want people to not freak out too much about, and I know it's kind of past and I'm bringing it up now and it maybe it's kind of stupid, but don't freak out.
Yeah,
like it's not because it sucked. It's not because I think there was just Soul had a 12-issue story, and then his other titles kind of took off.
Yeah,
and then he got the exclusive with Marvel, and suddenly he was working a lot. I just don't think they knew that was going to happen past like this 12-issue run.
Well, that makes sense to like have a bunch of different comics that are coming out, and then something hits, and then it kind of takes you away from some other things that you're working on that you weren't expecting. I mean, that's what happens with our show all the time. It's like, oh, we'll make a bunch of episodes like this, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we think we're gonna do this, but then things change because something else will take off, and some other format will be better than what we were kind of thinking about doing before. So yeah, I mean, I can see that happening, and I hope to see more Charles Soule writing She-Hulk though, if possible. I would love to see that because he's just done such a great job.
Absolutely, it's one of the only comic arcs that I've read every issue that's come out.
Yeah.
It's bringing me back. Like I don't have time because I'm editing all the time to read a lot of comics, and I keep going back. She-Hulk.
Yeah, it's good. I know it's funny when we went to the comic book store, and then I was picking up all the titles, and then Tyson also, we both picked up She-Hulk. I was like, oh, don't worry, I already got it. And he's like, no,
this is my copy.
So I had to put my copy away so Tyson could buy his copy. So.
It's fantastic.
Well, speaking of which, can we talk about my guilty pleasure comic?
Yeah, T-Bone.
I've really gotten into this Prometheus comic that's come out.
Yeah, these Dark Horse Prometheus comics.
Yeah, I think that it's just a lot of fun. Now, they're not... I wouldn't say these are great.
Yeah.
But they are a lot of...
It's a guilty pleasure.
It's childish glee.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing the idea of just having fun with all these different characters in the whole Aliens, Predator, Prometheus universe.
Yeah.
And, what would happen if they just, let whatever their imaginations run wild. I mean, there were Prometheus sharks in one issue.
Yeah. There's xenomorph sharks and xenomorph ants.
The setup is that they're going back to LV 422.
The one from Prometheus.
Right, the one from Prometheus.
Not 426.
Oh gosh, whichever one it is. Anyway, so the last we saw, the Prometheus, that ship, the alien ship had crashed, and
there
so
was, goo
the
everywhere.
scenario is the goo got loose apparently and started this whole Prometheus environment.
Yeah, big xenomorph jungle.
Yeah, there's a xenomorph jungle. How much fun is that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's really
And in this jungle, which is rendered beautifully, the art is amazing. Like this artist.
Yeah, artist does a really good job.
Really creates an environment where I feel like I'm in an environment. Like there's all these different areas where there's this jungle that I believe is an alien jungle, and there's these creatures walking by. Occasionally, Prometheus guys will walk by. And it's just a lot of fun. There's this crazy scientist who's experimenting with the goo.
Yeah, injecting
how ridiculous
folks,
is that?
Injecting folks is just like, whatever, come over here, let's just try this.
I haven't read the 4th issue yet.
But
I don't know if it wraps up good.
It's a lot of remember the Marvel what ifs.
Exactly.
Like,
It's a total
what if Dr. Doom really did win the Secret Wars?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This whole
Total
series
what
is just like, well, what if we did mix the black glue?
I will
goo
say
with
this: it is.
sharks.
I read this because we did a lot of coverage on Prometheus when the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the biggest videos that attracts new viewers to our channel. And so I read this, just to see what was happening. This will not make Prometheus the movie better,
Yeah.
but it is a lot of fun, and a lot of people might say this is more towards the line of where I wish the movie had gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just exploring the horror of these different,
and
scary
it doesn't
creatures.
take itself seriously.
No.
It's just it's obviously having fun with the concept, and it's fun to have fun with this
And
concept.
let me go back to the art. I think the artist is really awesome. I started following this guy on Twitter.
Juan Ferreira.
Juan Ferreira.
What
However you pronounce
Juan
it. What these
Ferreira?
artists want have such
Ferreira.
tough
Well,
names.
it's like, back in the day, like everybody just changed their last name to something that was like really simple, and like American,
Yeah.
so you could just say it really easily, and people it's not politically correct to do that anymore, so people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sucks because then I don't know how to fucking say their name.
Well,
and I
we
feel like an
pronounce
asshole.
the names of artists and writers wrong all the time on the show.
all the
I
time.
was
Well,
calling Charles Soule forever.
I was calling Soleil too,
Yeah.
but it's like
Like,
it's got an
oh.
E on the end. I don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah, and you only read these names. You never hear
you
them.
never hear them. It's not like you see it on
And
the
I don't know
news,
why,
or on Fox. Somebody
I was
talking
also
about it.
really guilty of. I just finally fixed it, but I'm the biggest Queens of the Stone Age fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Homme. I thought it was Josh Holmes or Josh Homey. No, it's Homme.
It's like, how are you supposed
It's
to
like,
know that?
I screwed
how are
up.
you supposed
And
to
I feel
know
like
that?
I screwed up so badly.
Oh man, it's like every fucking asshole in comics now has like the weirdest last name, like all the time. Like it happens to
Like I
me.
found out Matt Fraction. That's not his real last name.
Well, that's good. I'm
I
glad
think
that he
it's
just
awesome.
made something
I think it's
simple for
really
me,
cool
so
that he
I
has,
know how to
he
say
has a cool,
fraction.
comic
That's
book
easy.
writing name. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we should get back to that. Honestly, it's just like just do shit that's easy, so you don't make other people look like assholes by mispronouncing your name. It just makes it easier for people reviewing you and giving you props.
There you go.
Like, let me give you props, and I just make it easier for me, please.
Just dumb it down for us.
Yeah, I know.
That'd
It's
be
like I'm
great.
stupid. It's not. It's just I don't know.
But anyway, you read the Prometheus Fire and Stone comic.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. There's also all these other comic books that are like, this is a giant crossover.
You're right. There is a downside.
See, this is the downside. 'cause
When
it's-
I'm looking at it, it says Fire and Stone. That's the subheading.
Yeah,
But
well,
some titles are Prometheus, some titles are Aliens versus
But
Predator.
then you have Aliens vs Predator.
Yeah, this whole
Then
storyline's
you also
crossing
have
over
Aliens.
4 different books.
Then you also have like
awesome.
fucking.
You
but
think it was awesome, but
you'd
it's actually
think that.
really confusing
Oh, okay.
because
they
they started putting them out in the wrong order.
Yeah.
Like Prometheus,
Like-
the Prometheus is the main title. Or no, I'm sorry.
No, no. Like, okay, so this AVP I was reading, this takes place further along the timeline than the Prometheus stuff. But there's characters
it
from the
says in the
Prometheus
intro,
comic.
make sure you've read 1 through 4 of this before you start reading this. But they're coming out at the same time,
out.
so you can't.
Like, it's not out. Like, so I
it's
can't.
like I gotta buy each issue and
So,
wait
I mean,
until I'm done with.
Again, it's like one of those like overly ambitious ideas where it's like that's a great idea on paper,
Right.
but it just is not working as
I think
from
it's just-
from
I'm
a
just- I'm trying to
reader's
get, like,
perspective.
The
I think
excitement
they-
and frustration that's Insta right now.
Yeah,
This
they
is
released
great.
it obviously for this was the best timing that we thought people would buy it.
Yeah, it just they tried, and I good on them for trying, but it didn't quite work.
Yeah,
So.
and I haven't read all the other subtitles
Listen,
like
and
AVP.
you can't.
completely
I don't know. I
yet.
just feel like 4 titles, like that's so much. Like just have 2 crossing over, 3 at the most. You don't need to fucking go nuts. And that's one thing that I was getting really confused on is like when I would read the Aliens one, like where that was in the timeline of the entire franchise versus where the Prometheus comic is taking place in that timeline. It's just I just got really confused.
In the end, with the nature of this story, it probably doesn't even matter.
Well, just read the Prometheus stuff
Yeah.
so far. I
It
haven't.
still sounds fun.
The other stuff hasn't really like.
It,
Yeah, well, all the artists I think on these are pretty decent.
I don't know
There's
if the
something
Aliens
really
artist
cool.
I'm hot
There's
on.
something to be said for having fun comics because I know like the big thing right now is to turn characters like on their ear and you find it from a new view to change the character. But like someone handed me the first couple of issues of the Big Trouble in Little China comic
Don't they have
sequel just came out.
Really?
Stupid fun. It's awesome.
Well, there you go. That's what's
Like, it
great
was
about
just-
comics.
yeah.
It's like you can have fun with movies where they
Yeah.
never make a movie about this.
Right.
But like play with the characters and the
Yeah,
scenarios.
it's all it takes place right after the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, speaking of fun, I guess we'll probably wrap this up soon. But I just wanted also keep singing the praises of sex criminals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9, Fraction and Zdarsky. This is the part where I'm going to throw out the not safe for work part of the video. But something really cool happened, and this is what I'm really excited about
Which
with
number is
Image
that?
Comics.
Number 9.
Number 9. The story got really fun and interesting because it's almost the backstory of a character they've been talking about in the first, like, second or third issue. Mm-hmm. And it's basically the porn star that her boyfriend's, like, a little obsessed with.
That he's like, you kind of remind me of her. Yeah.
Like, you kind of remind me of my favorite porn star. The whole comic is a lot of her backstory and, like, how she got into porn. And I don't want to spoil it because it's really, really cool. But the one thing I am going to implore you guys to do is I love how the creators have been, like, supporting themselves with each other with the characters from Wiccan and Divine show up.
Yeah. Which Wiccan and
Sort of.
Divine is Kieran Gillen. Yeah.
And we were, like, really into Wiccan and Divine. But the characters show up in this as a Wiccan and Divine porn parody.
Porn parody, yeah. What's it called?
The Liquid and
the
Divine.
Liquid and the Divine. So yeah, and you have Lucy's character getting ready to have some hardcore hot times with not Anunnaki. That's the alien race. I can't remember her name, but the Japanese goddess that starts with an A. That's pretty hilarious.
And I'm pretty sure they actually
awesome.
like drew Chip Zdarsky in there, and they actually also drew Gillen and the other creators into the porn scene. So it's pretty cool, and I just want to tell you guys that you need to go check that out.
Yeah.
But also, Sex Criminals is still fucking doing an amazing job.
Well, that's a hot comic of the year, huh?
Dude,
Yeah, I know.
Well, we were there at the Eisners when it won.
Yeah.
That's good transition. I wanted to say that for all of you listening still, that we are planning on doing a top 10 comics of the year episode. And Kirk, we'd like to formally invite you to be on that episode.
Yeah.
Okay,
Done.
good. We're filming tomorrow. Just kidding.
Okay.
Filming whenever you're available. And look forward to that. And I
Yeah.
know you guys have a lot of good selections for space.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for that.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we need to conclude this on?
I quit smoking.
Congratulations.
I quit smoking.
Kirk quit smoking.
I'm 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
Cigarette
baby.
free.
Woo!
So that means people will be really disappointed now that you have all these people that are aware of it.
Yeah.
So you better stick on
I
it.
have to.
I know,
I have
yeah.
to stick with it.
Stick
Yeah,
on it.
everyone on
That's why,
Twitter,
like, the entire
just you should
podcast
guys
today,
put all
I've
the
been-
pressure on him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole sniffling and sneezing and coughing thing is what they don't tell you is when you quit smoking that your body is literally detoxing a lot of shit out.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm gross. I'm coughing up Prometheus goo.
Yeah.
It's
It's pretty hot.
and everything's
Okay.
sniffly, but God, food tastes so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on some more weight before I have to go back to the gym. I'm really
welcome-
excited.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
You got a few weeks before it's the new year.
Yeah.
You know? You gotta,
I'm gonna go to the gym like everybody else.
Good job.
Yeah.
Let's all get in shape.
yeah. I need to get back on the horse.
I need to do it.
I need to get back on the horse. I've been slacking.
All right. So, finally, give us some updates. What other projects have you been working on? What are the things that you've been on? You were on the Schmo
Oh yeah,
Nose show.
I was just on the Schmoes Nose movie after hours podcast. You can find that. We posted a link to that on my Facebook. You should follow me on Facebook. Also, earlier today, I was filming some stuff with John Schnepp for one of his new shows called Sweaty Comic Book Nerds. So we knocked a bunch of those out today. So be on the
Excellent
lookout
title.
for that. Yeah, that should be coming out pretty soon.
Sweaty comic book nerds?
Sweaty Comic Book Nerds.
Does not sound sexy.
It's funny because he calls people sweaties. He's like, all right, sweaties, and it's really cute.
Okay.
So yeah, we also has like sweaty practical effects nerds and sweaty movie nerds, and it's a whole kind of branding thing. But yeah, so I did a bunch of stuff for that today. I also did some extra work in Max Landis's new short film coming out called "Wrestling Isn't Wrestling."
I've been waiting for this thing. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting.
You got a little scene in there?
Yeah, it's like I'm not like a big major player or anything. I'm just in a group scene where we're chasing Chloe Dykstra as Triple H. We're all gonna try to get her.
I know it sounds dumb. I've been following the development of this on Twitter.
It's really interesting.
And he's got nothing but sexy women playing the wrestlers.
Yes,
in
well,
the video.
I think
I know. I wish I had gone to the shoot.
it's.
He showed me pictures. There was like nothing but
Yeah, well,
20 hot
it was
girls.
funny. Like I ran into
Like,
John Schnepp there too. It was like so. I keep running into that guy. But yeah, it's really interesting because I feel like it's this is kind of him showing wrestling storylines minus wrestling fights and
it's a
things like that.
storyline.
So yeah, it just shows like how wrestling is really a soap opera.
No, it is a soap opera.
And how in our society guys aren't allowed to be interested in soap opera dramas. So in order to make it okay for guys to watch soap opera dramas, they put all this fighting in there. Kind of like X-Men, same stuff.
Same deal.
You know, same deal. When really you're there for the storylines, you're not, and that's okay.
You want to know who the good guys are. You want to know who the heels are. You want to know who's going to turn heel.
Yeah,
so to speak.
It was a lot of fun. We had to run a lot. There's a lot of running takes, and there was a drone thing.
So you should put links to all these different things you've been on, including whatever else you do, because December you usually maybe jump on some other people's shows since you got.
Yeah. I've been kind of just jumping on other people's shows, so now I have a little bit of time to do that. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Okay, well, I think this has been a successful episode.
I needed this.
Yeah,
and you guys definitely go check out comicbookgirl19.com. Check out our calendar. Support the show. It's so awesome. So yeah. Everybody, check it out. We worked really hard on it. And seriously, it's going to be the coolest calendar you've ever had in your life. So.
Oh, and you have one more big tidbit of news. What did you do? What project?
Okay, so we worked with Slacker Radio.
You're on the wrong mic.
I thought you wanted me on that one.
Oh, and you have one more big tidbit of news. What is it?
So we recently made a playlist on Slacker Radio with their I Am the DJ project. So I got to pick out a shit ton of songs that I really like. So I put together this entire playlist. I went down there and recorded for 20 of the songs. It talks about why I chose them and what the songs mean to me and stuff like that. So I have an entire radio station for you to check out.
Wow.
The link is in the description. So if you want to go hear my playlist, go check it out. Slacker Radio. It's pretty awesome. Really, it's got a lot of.
Oh, and that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. All right, you can pause that.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we got a lot of a lot of chill wave, a lot of synth pop.
What is Slacker?
Electro. Slacker Radio is in between Pandora and Spotify. It's got the algorithms and stuff like that, like Pandora. If you just want to pick a song and then listen to a whole radio station around that song, you can do that. But like Spotify, you can also just make your own playlist from your own songs and stuff too. So, and then there's also these I Am the DJ sessions where you have different people coming in and sharing what their musical tastes are. So I know a lot of people out there on the internet have asked me what kind of music I'm into, and this is a great way to find out. I think it's I'm really happy with how it turned out. My radio station's really awesome.
Okay.
So check it out. Links in the description.
And I'm going to love every single song on there, right?
Everyone's going to love every song on there, and you should just tell me how much you love every song on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, this might be the last Plopcast we do for 2014.
Yes. We'll see you in 2015.
If that's
great.
the case.
Can't wait for 2015. I need to get here as soon as possible.
I know. I need to get through Christmas. Just get it over with. And the New Year's, and then we'll be good to go.
I can't wait for January 2nd. I really can't.
Yeah. No, it's going to be awesome. Because then it's birthday time. January. I know got a lot of birthdays going on in January.
I'm excited about 2015. I think it's going to be a big year for us. Because, we've learned a lot. 2014
Oh, yeah. This is a big learning year.
Yeah. 2014 was a big mountain to climb.
I definitely remember you guys were in beta.
Yeah. We're no longer beta.
But you're not beta anymore. And,
No.
certain plans were implemented.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool to see those plans come to fruition.
Yeah. And that's the main thing is, a lot of 2014 was digging in the dirt and fucking laying some foundation and planting some seeds, and hopefully we'll see some stuff in 2015 sprout up, hopefully. I think it's going to be good.
Absolutely. So stick around. All right. Thank your guests for being here. And
thanks, Kirk.
Thanks,
and
guys.
T-Bone. Thanks.
Appreciate
Good job,
that.
Beans. You did a good job napping over there.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you assholes in 2015.
Woo!